Welcome back to another episode of Mental Health Monday here with my friend Taronda. What up, girl? What's good?
What's going on?
Hey, you. Hey. Introduce yourself to the folks. Let them know who you are and what it is that you do.
Sounds good. Hey, I'm Taronda. What do I do? The real question is, what don't I do? JK. So I am in month 3 of a library job, which I love. Encourage your friends to read books. Read a book a month. Encourage your parents to read books. Encourage other people's kids to read books. Encourage somebody to read a book. I also work part-time at the Boys and Girls Club as a programs lead. I just plan and run programs for children. My life revolves around children. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
All right, tell me about the importance and the value of the Girls and Boys Club in today's environment.
Okay, in pandemic times, I really think it's still important to have kids who don't mind being around each other. Yes, they have to have their masks on. Yes, they have to be 3 to 6 feet away from each other, but they still need that, like, kinship, that, oh, I'm around my friends. Yes, I can hug them, but I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, they still need all of that to survive. Not being around anybody for a year is rough. Trust me. You can tell every day when you walk into somebody's school or somebody's recreation center. So the Boys and Girls Club being open during most of the pandemic, quite honestly, was a really, really great thing.
Okay. Tell me some stories.
Some stories. Like, do you have anything like in particular?
What did you notice in terms of kids' behaviors in the pandemic, in terms of the Boys and Girls Club's value?
Outside of the Boys and Girls Club's value, teachers need to get paid more, point blank period. It's a lot coming into a room where you have 15, let's say, second graders on computers and expecting them to be still, expecting them to pay attention. And it's just, it's rough out here. But I know my, what do you call them? People you work with? What are they called? My colleagues, my coworkers. Thank you, because my coworkers did a very, very good job at keeping schedules, keeping everybody under control, making sure work was turned in. We had a lot of contact with principals and teachers and parents, so everybody just did their part, and we got it done. Don't want to do it again. I'd rather not.
Okay. Now, I know you're supposed to move to Texas. Decide to stay here in the VA on your side.
Can we say that wasn't my decision?
It wasn't your decision?
That wasn't my decision.
Are we touching that on camera?
I mean, I don't care.
All right, cool. Tell me about that.
So the plan was to move to Texas with my friend. Hey, Tyra, I love you. Hey, friend. And the plan was to get a job before I moved out there. And legit, I could not find a job. Nobody was calling me back. Nobody was accepting emails. I got one job offer, and it was something in like special education in a middle school, and it was going to be great. And then I got a phone call from their HR team, and they were like, oh, with your 5 years of experience, all we can offer you is $12.50 an hour. And I was like, I'm going to have to decline this job. So, big reason why I did not move to Texas, but I do be there every 6 months like clockwork.
So, even in Texas, $12.50 an hour is not a lot.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Okay, so back to the Boys and Girls Club. Tell me about how it's structured.
So right now I'm there after school. The kids come in from school. They get like time to socialize with each other. They come in, drop their bags off, snack first. After snack, they go with their groups. They either go to the computer lab first, gym time first until 4:30. 4:30 we do one big meetup assembly situation in the gym, and we go into programs. Our club is divided by age. So we have our 5 to 7 group, our 8 to 10 group, our 11 to 12 group, and our 13 and up group. And they do 2 programs a day. First program situation is from 4:30 to 5:30. Second one is from like 5:45 to 6:30. And they do one sitting program and one active program every day. So we do yoga and nutrition. We have what they call like triple body play, where they learn like teamwork and things like that. It's called Triple Play Body, because backwards. Triple Play Soul is like games, board games, and teamwork. We have STEM classes. They do cooking. They do arts and crafts. We have like mentoring programs where they learn about themselves and what they do as far as like growing up and confidence and things of that nature. I feel like I'm missing a program or two. I think that's about it. We do a podcast for our high schoolers, which is wonderful. Love them. And after 6:30, they do snack number 2. By that time, we have sports coming in. Those kids that are with us all day go to sports. And then our extra kids come in and go to sports. And people are going home. And that's our day.
So what's the value of having an after-school program for the kids?
Having somewhere safe for the kids to be after school. So their parents know where they are. So they're not running around in the streets. So they're not getting into trouble. So they're not doing things they're not supposed to be doing. Learning to get along with new people, meeting new people. Sidebar, I feel like I've met a lot of the people I know. People be like, oh, Taronda, you know a lot of people. It's fine. I've met a lot of people I know through summer programs. My mama lady, she put me in, I don't want to say every summer program known to man, but I was in them all. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I met a whole lot of people, random summer programs that I'm still cool with today. So I just feel like kids should be meeting other kids at random walks of life. And it's the greatest thing.
How's the funding?
The funding, it really depends. Mm-hmm. So in the region I work in, DMV region, well, 2 states and a city, but whatever. Mm-hmm. The funding in the states themselves or the areas themselves are different. So you really have to go into like grant writing, asking for donations, making sure that your higher ups know how to do those things, or it won't go over well.
Have you ever worked with people who are inadequate at the top in any of your jobs when it's come to the Boys and Girls Club?
Inadequate at the top? No. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. All the clubs I've worked at, which are 2, have been pretty good at getting funding and getting donations. We've had some pretty good times.
Okay, so I know you have a great relationship with the location over in Southeast.
We love them. We love them. We love headquarters. We love Clubhouse 14. We love FBR. Hey guys, we love them.
Tell me about the folks on the other side.
Everybody at headquarters is really, really cool. Everybody's really easy because that's where the higher ups are. Mm-hmm. So our CEO, her assistants, the people that are over like the regions, they have offices there. Mm-hmm. That's where everybody is. So Clubhouse 14 and headquarters is the same situation. Okay. Yeah. Keep going. Everybody's easy to talk to. If you need to talk to somebody, you shoot somebody an email, they will get right back with you. Mm-hmm. It's never been you shouldn't be talking to me about this. You should be talking to this person about this. If you have a question, they're going to answer it.
Okay.
We love that.
How valuable is mental health and the development of children now?
Now, it's very, very, very valuable. It's a hard...
Take your time.
It's a very, very hard line because you have what the children are telling you, but at the same time, they're telling you, but hey, my parents don't want me to be doing this, but hey, I can't do this at school. But so it's a very sensitive situation in general. Mental health is very important. I feel like the city I work in now is a lot different from the city I started in. The kids they're much more aware of themselves, or they feel they're much more aware of themselves. I really don't know which one it is.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me an example?
I have a member in particular, and they identify as something totally different from what their parents identify them as. Mm-hmm. So they'll introduce themselves as one name, and then our parents will introduce them as a whole nother name. And then the child will be like, I don't like that name, but don't call me the name I introduced myself as around my mom. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of going back and forth and making sure the child is comfortable, but at the same time making sure the parent is comfortable too.
Mm-hmm. So is it a lot of boundaries work?
A lot of boundaries work? Yes and no. Mm-hmm. Only because there's no definite lines. Mm-hmm. in understanding kids. You really just have how they feel in that moment or what they've told you in the past. And you just have to keep checking up every now and then to make sure they still feel that way, because things change with them really, really fast.
What have you done to create a comfortable environment for kids to approach you about this?
Making sure that I am approachable. If you ask any of my groups, the first thing I ask is, how was your day? And we take 10-15 minutes, and my day was good because my day was bad because I almost got in a fight. Well, why'd you get in a fight? I make sure that I go through have conversations with them, because they might feel like nobody at home is listening to them, and that's what I'm there to do. Listen.
Have you been working on teaching emotional intelligence when it comes to the kids?
No, I have not been working on teaching emotional intelligence, mostly because I've been working more on finding the words to explain yourself.
Tell me more about that.
Not necessarily I feel this way because, but more so, this is like exactly, so they tend to have a very broad spectrum of how they are, how they feel, how they relate, what they relate to. And I guess that kind of is emotional intelligence, huh? And I'm trying to like narrow it down more so. Okay, so I am a girl and I like girls. Okay, but 2 days later, you like this boy, you have a crush on this boy. Okay, so how do you feel now? Well, like I'm trying to get those feelings narrowed down. Like it's perfectly fine. It's okay if you feel that way. And you have to make sure that you don't aggressively approach them, because then they tend to recluse, and we don't want that. We want to be able to have the open conversations.
So would you say the language is important because it helps the kids better understand themselves also?
Very much so.
Okay. When you do come across cases that kids are recluse, how is that handled? Or how do you approach that yourself?
Me personally, in a very, 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 very outgoing manner. Like, it might seem kind of awkward to be like the loud person coming at a recluse person, but as long as they see like, oh, she's not gonna be quiet with me because I'm quiet today. She's just gonna be herself while I just be myself as much as possible to make sure they know they're comfortable enough to be themselves in whatever situation.
Have you learned how to do this on your own, or is there someone who gave you advice on like, hey, this may be a better fit for you?
Honestly, I've always been good with kids. As much as I'm trying to get away from working with children right now, as much as I'm trying to move away from it, I have always been really, really good at working with children. And sometimes it might be oversharing with me, but I have to make sure that they know that I'm an open book, and whatever they ask, I'm gonna answer whether they want to hear it or not. And then if they go to their parents, I'm gonna tell their parents exactly what I said.
How do you handle the parental relationships in situations like that?
You just go talk to the parent. It can be something like, we had a conversation about hygiene today, and your child was asking me where babies came from, and I gave them a broad answer. And this is exactly the answer I gave them. And the parent can be upset. Absolutely. But at the same time, your child learned something today. You can be upset with me. I always say I will take the blame. Always say I will be the fall person. I don't care. As long as that child is okay in that moment, I'm perfectly fine. You can be angry. I'm cool. Be angry. Be mad. I'm straight.
Have you ever had to deal with that?
Absolutely. And most times I cover myself. So if I have a conversation with a child, I will go tell I'm not going to tell what the child is saying, but I'll tell my higher up, hey, I was just talking to this child and this is exactly what I said. So if you hear anything back, tell them to come talk to me because I said it.
What are the importance of your higher ups in situations like that?
Knowing your higher ups, knowing who you are, knowing what you're about. My higher ups fully know that I am an open book. I am the same with everybody. I talk to these kids the same way I talk to the adults, the same way I talk to my parents, the same way I talk to you. I talk to everybody the exact same. Plus or minus a few little curse words, because my kids can't curse unless I'm doing it, and that's the rule and they know it. But they know me and they know exactly what I'm about, so they're just gonna have to deal with it.
What's the value of consistency to your job?
That's a great question. building a rapport. Making sure the kids know that you are always going to be there for them. Yes, okay, my mom is taking me out of this program. Okay, cool, here's my email. You can come back and visit anytime. You can email me anytime. And working in a school also is really good for that because the emails have the same ending. So it's just like they're emailing a teacher. So anything they want to say, they can email me. I don't give out my phone number because it's a little bit of line crossing, and of course I'm trying to keep my jobs. But it works. Or if they tell, I have a couple of my members that I've known since they were babies, so like they would have my phone number, of course. So if it was like, hey, so and so told me to tell you this, that happens a lot. Hey, I saw so and so today, and they told me they were thinking about you, and they told me to tell you this, this, and this. Or even like I've written notes to be passed back to a child before. All of that. You just have to make sure that the child knows that you are there for them, and you will always be there for them.
That's real. That's very real. When it comes to adults and the internet plus kids, how do you deal with kids who feel they know a little bit too much because everyone has access to the same information?
You ask them, I ask them exactly what they know. If it is wrong, I'll ask where they got it from. I am the person that'll be like, people lie sometimes. We're going to get this information correct so you're not lying also. So I have to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Therefore, even if I don't know what I'm talking about, we can research this together. We can both look it up. We can figure out the answers to this information together, and we both going to be educated in that moment.
What's the most difficult thing about your job?
Dealing with personalities. Not all the kids are gonna like you. Not all the adults are gonna like you. Not all the parents are gonna like you. And you just do your best until you can't no more.
Yeah.
That's the absolute hardest thing.
How much of your heart do you leave at home when it comes to going to work? Because, you can't be bleeding everywhere.
Absolutely. That's a great question. I'm going to say like 45%, depending on the moment, depending on who I'm talking to. The relationship I have with my high schoolers is totally different from the relationship I have with the younger than 13s.
Tell me more about that.
My high schoolers, we do have like the hard conversations. Oh, I snuck so-and-so in this weekend. Oh, I think I'm going to keep my virginity forever. Oh, like we will have those hard conversations. And that I can tell that they appreciate a listening ear. They appreciate my feedback. To whereas I won't have those rougher conversations with the younger under 13s because things get misconstrued very, very easily.
How important is their trust?
Very important. They have to know that you are going to be there for them. They have to be able to tell you things. They do know up front, like if it does get to like a certain importance, I do have to tell somebody. Point blank, period. Oh, hey, you're pregnant. We have to go talk to somebody. Sorry, sis. But they have to know that you're going to be there for them forever and ever and ever and ever, even when they're 25 and have 3 kids and all of that. I haven't been in the game that long. I'm not that old.
Have you ever lost the trust of a kid?
Lost the trust of a kid? I don't think so.
You have a great track record.
I feel like I have to call one of my kids and ask no. Like, I really don't.
I can see you calling them in the middle of this interview.
Yes. I'm not going to, but absolutely. But I really don't think so. I don't think I have.
What were one of your personal goals when you took this job up? Because I remember before it was just Boys and Girls Club. You were doing that for years. You held it down. Yep.
It will be summer number 6 coming up.
But then you added the library. Why did you add the library?
I'm trying to find my purpose. I have been reading since I was 3 years old. I've always loved books. And so the school I work at is a traditional school, meaning all of the all of the kids wear uniforms. I literally wake up and care what I wear every day. So all the other little black girls in the school be like, oh snap, her hair is blue. That's cool. Oh snap, her shoes are cute. That's cool. Oh snap, let me go talk to her. Like, that's exactly why I wake up and do what I do in this library every day.
Did you have somebody like you growing up?
No. 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 Maybe my god sister. I feel like we talked about it a lot to a certain extent though. But other than that, no. My god sister, I love her. Hey Valicia, she just had a baby. Hey Nola.
Congrats.
She is, how old am I? She might be 3 or 4 years older than me. And we, of course, we've had our like differences or whatever because she's known me my whole life. It's been a lot. And we just have like conversations. She'll tell me about like whatever like boy she's talking to, so I'll get that like, oh, okay, this is how I would go about this situation. But that stopped at a certain extent, and honestly everything else was just trial and error. So yeah, and I was like crazy dumb up until like 2018, until I cut my locks off. I wasn't smart. Wasn't smart at all.
I knew you.
Was not smart at all. I make so much better decisions now.
Was the change the locks, or did something happen in life where you're like, nah, I gotta get it together?
Okay, so we can talk about locks in general. I don't want to say theory. My relationship with hair is very personal. Your head holds a lot of your energy. Of course, you know your brain is there. And you shed 100 hairs a day. Okay, so when you have locks, your locks are the matting of those 100 hairs into your hair, meaning that energy that is in your hair stays with you. You don't want a whole lot of people's hands in your head. You don't want the people's whose hands are in your head for their energy to be any type of way. And when I felt like the relationships in my life were done, the just like some like the situations I was going through that moment were done, I was like, all right, cool, I can fully let go of all of this energy. Like, it was just time for it to go. And I was bald headed for like 2 years, and it was great.
You look nice bald headed too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What was your self-care regimen during that time? Because I remember you were trying on a lot of different oils and products around that time.
I was washing, I think, once a week, and then I would go get it bleached or it lifted once a month, and I was like coloring it, and then my barber would cut me up because he's wonderful. Hey, Dre.
Dre been killing the game for you for a minute now. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to big his head up though, so it doesn't matter. But it was just me making sure that my energy in my head was secure. So whenever, like, I could, at that point in life, I felt like I could have somebody random touch my head because I was just cutting it off anyways. So yeah.
Do you remember the growing periods that you had with your hair as you locked up?
Yes.
Tell me about those.
Started off little babies, legit like this big. I wasn't going to be one of those people that were like, oh, I'm going to wear wigs over my locks all the time because I'm going through an ugly phase. And then I turned into that person. And then I got maybe like 6 or 7 months in and was like, man, I'm not doing this anymore. And just started like wearing my little short, awkward length locks out. And then I started putting them in like kinky twists. So like putting like hair extensions on them. And then it got to the point where it like fell in a bowl cut. And I really like that a lot because I like beanies. And then I remember, I think I was driving to DC one day, and I remember the window being down, and my hair like slapping me in my face, and I was like, oh, this is growing. Oh my God.
That's funny.
And then I remember vividly, well, the first time I found out I could put my hair in a ponytail, I remember vividly calling my best friend and being like, hey, bro, my hair's in a ponytail now. And he was like, man, finally. Because during the early stages, I wasn't feeling my hair, so I'd always call him. And he'd be like, Taronda, you are not cutting your hair. You are not combing them out. You're just going to keep them. It's going to be wonderful. So he really like held me down through the beginning stages of my locks. Hey, P, we love you. But yeah, that was about it. And then they got longer, and I started dyeing them green. Me with green locks was a wonderful thing. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and that was it.
What was your favorite growth period of your hair?
I cut off one side, and I cut the back off, and dyed my locks, the ends of my locks green. And I just felt like it made me an individual. So I like the individualism of my locks. I like being like, oh wow, like, because I inspired a lot of current heads of locks. Okay, we just gonna say that right there. Point blank period. Okay, cool. But I just felt I love the individualism of my locks. I enjoyed that a lot.
How was that a reflection of your personality and who you've allowed yourself to be?
I feel like, other than me having like approachable permanently stamped on my forehead my entire life, I feel like a lot of things in, like, when I had my locks were a talking point. So, oh, your hair is green. Oh, what did you do to lift your like original color pigment? Oh, do you retwist your locks yourself? Oh, do you color your locks yourself? How often do you get your locks retwisted? I enjoyed talking about my locks a lot. Hate natural hair conversations when my hair was loose. I hated it. Don't ask me what I used in my hair. I don't want to know what you use in your hair. Don't talk to me about it.
Why did you hate it?
I don't know. I just felt like everybody's opinions were really, really weird. And
can you give me like an example?
No, I can't, because I don't remember.
It's like that time is behind you and above you.
I just remember everybody's opinions just being weird. Like, and then I just remember like people like looking down on me. Like, and so I went natural my freshman year of high school. So that was 20... that was like 08, 07, 08. I went natural my freshman year of high school, and it was like, so you're just not gonna get your hair done? I'm just like, why does it matter to y'all what I'm doing with my hair? Like, it would be braided every now and then, but I wasn't pressed to go, and I would like color my hair all the time. It was fun, but like, I wasn't pressed, and everybody just had something to say, and it was just, I just never wanted to have any more of those conversations. A lot of those people that had that question are all natural now. I think all of them are natural now.
Self-hate.
I want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that.
Okay. When it comes to now, your hair now, what is your relationship with your hair now? Take your time.
I have a decent relationship with my hair now. 70% of the time I want to cut it off. Because just, it's easier just having short hair and not having hair at all. But like who said life was supposed to be easy? I love the girl who braids my hair. I love her. I love spending time with her. So I do keep my hair, because like those are like our moments. We just sit and talk and watch YouTube. It just makes me really happy. My mom does my hair too, so I get to sit and spend time with my mom while she does my hair. I'll like do my hair sometimes too, so I get to test my own patience in doing my hair. I think the roughest thing right now with my hair being loose is taking braids out, and me seeing how much hair I lose after the braids is really disheartening.
I hate that so much when a lot of hair comes out.
Yeah, it's super disheartening. But other than that, I'm ready to relock my hair. I'm really, really excited. I'll probably relock my hair in July.
In the summer?
Yeah.
I guess that's the best time.
Yep. Relock my hair in July. And I'm ready for this next stage in life, because a lot's about to start happening.
Okay. When it comes to, did you want to talk on what's going to be happening in July? Or?
It doesn't. I'm going back to school.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to hate
on this side. We're going to school on this side.
Are you trying to ask me if I'm moving to Texas?
Yeah, no, I got some opportunities that we're gonna talk about after this, but like, I gotta ask
absolutely.
Questions now.
I am, now. As of right now, I'm going to school somewhere out here. I'm going to school to be a librarian. That makes me really, really happy. I love books.
What's
I already
that
said
process
that.
like?
You need a master's to be a librarian.
Really?
You need a master's in informational science.
Are they going to pay you master's money after you get that?
Yes.
Okay, I hope so.
Yes. And it's and I guess I don't always want to be a book librarian. Like, I recently learned with the whole like Ralph Lauren thing that went on that like fashion houses have libraries. When I was looking for jobs, colleges have like music libraries. Yes, I said the same thing.
You got me hooked right now.
Exactly. I don't know anything more. I didn't look into it. I was just reading. There was a lot going on. I was at work. Yeah. So I'm learning that, like, and also I think my end goal is to be an archivist. Like, I like history also. So to just like go from place to place and be like, oh, this is a great moment in history, archive this. This is a great moment in history, archive this. And I also want to go to different places like down south and write down spoken stories. I love like folk tales. I love folklore. I love hearing like my aunts talk about stuff that happened way back whenever. Like, that stuff makes me happy too.
Yeah. So would you say your family's history is important to you?
Yes, but I don't know a lot of it. My family is different.
I've met and heard stories.
My family is different because my
Exactly.
grandmother disappeared for a while, and it's different. Yeah, it's different. Like, I legit learned yesterday that my mom did not know that my grandmother had a phone number until, when was Katrina? 2001? Until 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I legit learned that yesterday.
That's interesting. Okay. That's crazy. All right. So I'm gonna get back to the kids. Have you taught the kids the love of hair?
No, I don't think we have a whole lot of hair conversations. I do want to start because I do have a couple of girls whose parents aren't equipped to deal with their hair.
Okay. You're very polite.
Yeah. So I do have a couple of those, and there are some conversations that need to be had, but we're starting with hygiene first because we need to go there first.
Description of hygiene, like what's the start from the top, the process that people need to think about when it comes to their hair.
I'm not talking about hair hygiene, like body hygiene.
Keep going.
In general. First things first, children stink. They're going to stink. They're going to stink all day, every day, and they're not going to smell it. So instead of me like pointing out like, oh, you stink, oh, you stink, oh, you stink, because that's rude, I will make a general announcement. Hey guys, it should not smell like this in this room. I need everybody tonight when you get home, soap, water, deodorant. You do not have to lotion your body. You can be ashy all you want to. I don't care. Soap, water, deodorant. That's all I ask of you. And I think they appreciate that more than you stink. You stink. Everybody go over here and smell this person because they stink. Yeah, like, I don't want to embarrass anybody. Yeah, I don't want to embarrass anybody. But I will tell you all as a group that you don't smell good.
Then what's the next step?
Our next step is sometimes you do get to talk to them individually about hygiene. I did learn that there are these two girls who don't take showers often because their mom tells them not to. So we sat and talked about why it's important to take showers. So that was the thing. I don't know. I haven't like followed up with it. I should. I'll do that this week. But hopefully they're doing better with that.
Sounds like a fight.
It's a something. And then as far as hair goes, right now it's washing your hair. Also encourage your boys, your sons, to wash their hair. This 3-in-1 soap, shampoo, conditioner, no. Negative. They need to be separate and encourage them to wash their hair regularly. It needs to be separate because I don't see the same thing working for your body that works for your hair. Like, it just doesn't, whatever chemicals are in whichever one going on both doesn't sit right with me. Yeah. No, make them separate them.
Okay, what's step 3?
Step 3 is making sure you acknowledge when you see them like doing something well with hygiene. Oh, hey, I really like your hair today. Oh, hey, I see you got a new shirt today. Like, I see you have on a new shirt. Oh, wow, that's really, really nice. Making sure that they know that you acknowledge their efforts. Step 3.
So do these acknowledgments help build the person?
Absolutely, every time.
In what ways?
Well, they know that you're worried about them. Because a lot of them, nobody's thinking about me. I'm not going to do anything. It doesn't matter. So they know you're thinking about them. Two, they know somebody outside of their parents are worried about them, or whatever their parents are telling them isn't just because they're their parents. So they're getting reassurance. What else? I think that's pretty much it. As far as like they're not, and it just makes them feel good about themselves. Compliments makes everybody feel good about themselves.
Is there a step 5?
I don't think so.
Okay. The reason I ask is I was thinking of making some hair products because I have a couple of folks that I do shea butter and oil stuff with. And on the Get Home Safe side, we're probably going to be coming up with a campaign. Like, I've always been, Bad Bitches United. That campaign literally comes from men. I've seen men be jealous of women. And it's like, what they're jealous of the women are is in the confidence of how attractive they are. Like, damn, I want to be a bad bitch too. And it's like, when you hear it, like, the first thing you're like, man, why would you want to be a bad bitch? But then you think about it and it's like, women have done a great job of not just being vulnerable, but acknowledging what's not their highlights, but making it into something greater. And a lot of men struggle with that. So when it comes to the Bad Bitches United concept and that campaign and everything else, it's like, well, what does your care look like? Not just self-care. What does your care look like? Like, what is your hair routine? How many hair products do you have? Do you pay attention to when your hair is dry? Do you notice when it's dry? Because when it comes to waves are technically supposed to be dry. You're supposed to, wash it, grease it down, make sure it's smooth, get the waves in, make sure it holds still. But when it comes to growing your hair, that's a different process. But there's an in-between that a lot of people don't think of, because it's like, if I've learned it this way, this is how it's supposed to be done. And it's like, nah, there's 100 different ways to skin a cat.
Agreed.
So when I hear stuff like this, I think of the experiences that the adults who are adults now didn't have, and what can we do to give the kids the tools we didn't have without them knowing we're giving them something that we lacked. So, like, for example, you didn't have a you walking around growing up. So it's like, you had to imagine what you would be like as a person to get here. And the shoes fit, but maybe it would have been nicer if you had an example of that also to have conversations with. Or just at least have that experience of, maybe this is something that I want. That's all.
I feel that.
So when I hear these hair conversations, you feel like the best person to talk about it, because you've gone from locks to bald to not bald to locks coming up soon. So you know how people look at you, but you know how it feels. You know the relationship you have with your hair. You know the relationships that you kind of root for your kids to when they have with themselves. So, like, when I see somebody like you being a part of the Boys and Girls Club, working as a librarian, and then also admitting to yourself, I'm trying to find who I am, that's important. Because as much as we can't get hired for jobs because of our hair, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be able to appreciate the hair that we have, and we shouldn't be able to pass that on to kids in whatever aspects or ratios they can enjoy. Like
that law was just passed as of today. The Crown Act.
The fact that we have to have a Crown Act today in 2022 is crazy. Because my mom now, she loves my hair, but I found out she had a terrible relationship with her hair, and she still does. And I'm like, can I coach you through this if you don't want to listen? Because for me, for her, I'm just her son. But I'd be looking at you like, girl, you do some shit with your hair, man. Sit in that bath and really massage that joint. Like, massage your scalp. Like, whether you're going bald or not, you should still be able to have a relationship with your hair.
Absolutely.
Whether it's thinning out or not.
And it shouldn't all be hateful.
Yeah, because sometimes the relationship with your hair shouldn't be trying to get your hair back. Sometimes it should be, are you taking care of what you do have? And a lot of people don't know how to do that, and they don't know how to start doing that either. Just as hair rant.
We love a good hair rant. I'm so much more open to hair rants now. I wasn't always like this.
Really? What changed?
I just didn't like talking about hair.
I mean, after your experiences a couple of times,
yeah.
I could imagine what does that do to you as a person? Those experiences that make it hard to have those convos.
I come from a very, very sarcastic, loud family, so a lot of things for me was just like, all right, cool. You was talking about me, now I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But some of them really stuck. I was just thinking about this story. I was working at a daycare when I was younger. And I think I came in, I think my locks were like some color. And my boss was trying to tell me that it didn't look good. And I was trying to tell her that I look good in whatever I wear on my head. And she just kept telling me no. And I was like, who are you? What is this? Yeah. So it just kind of, that story has really stuck with me. Because like, why did she think it was okay just to consistently feel she was putting me down? So I'm assuming there was some disconnect that she had with her hair. She might still have it.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Animosity might still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know. But I was just always like, okay, it's me. You're gonna look at me any type of way anyway, so you're just gonna keep doing it like this. That's fine. Yeah. My mama don't say nothing. Yeah. The only person that matters.
Does it suck that you have to stand your ground at such an early age?
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always have to be. I always tell lady that I wish I was more disrespectful when I was younger. I do. Like, I was the most respectful child when I was teachers, bosses. Oh, I wish I was so much more disrespectful when I was younger. Because, I mean, it would have gotten me in trouble a lot, but they wouldn't have said it to nobody else.
Should kids practice disrespect when adults have them fucked up?
Yes, absolutely. Mostly because either they've said it to another child before and it's hurt that child, or it's something they're going to start saying to other children. So they're going to get that one kid that's going to want to go upside their heads, and they're going to understand that, oh, maybe this is something I shouldn't be saying.
Yeah, so they should be checked verbally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And getting checked by a 13-year-old when you're 52 is hard. Yeah. But sometimes that's what you need.
Have you ever been in situations like that with the kids that you take care of, where it's like, hey, if an adult approaches you like that, you should stand for yourself and it's okay? I've
told them that, but I've never like seen it happen.
Yeah.
Like, again, they'll tell me something. Who told you that? Oh, my teacher. Teachers lie sometimes. That's what I say flat out. I don't care. Flat out. Teachers lie sometimes.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
They're not always right.
They do.
So go, if you know what you know, go ahead and say what you know. Never second guess yourself. It's rule number 2.
Before going on to your master's program, because you're going to move on to more things now
eventually.
What values do you look to instill in the kids?
Self-worth, confidence, believing in yourself, a lot of inner work first, because when you have that inner work first, it shows on the outside. I feel like you don't have to do as much on the outside. Do what you like. I don't care if anybody else says they don't like it. That's fine, cool. Then go find somebody who does like it. Do what you like. Don't let anybody get you down. If it's dumb, go off. Like, if you want to be childish your whole life, make smart decisions, but be childish your whole life.
Yeah.
And that's it. They just need to. It's a lot of inner work. Like, this is my confidence. You cannot break down my confidence as much as you try, and I'm going to be like this forever.
Being in the position that you've been in with children, can you see how adults not only get it wrong, but sometimes they just are never given the chances to be who they need to be?
Because a lot of adults were silenced when they were little. I wasn't silenced when I was little. And it clearly shows, because I wasn't, and that's lady's whole thing. Like, I didn't have a chance to say things, so I decided to give you a chance to say things. Yeah, you got a little extra sometimes, and we had to handle it, but you got it out, and I further understood where you were coming from. It gave me a better understanding of who you were when you were growing up.
When it comes to the system, what's one thing you think could be added that would help when it comes to mental health?
The system as far as like schools, or as far as like nurturing little people?
Let's say nursing little people, like Boys and Girls Club, like what they could benefit from.
I think the only piece we're missing right now is having people that you don't see every day come in and talk to them. Like pre-pandemic, we were allowed to like invite people in to have conversations with the kids. Now it's harder because we're in a pandemic, but I think a lot of them need, like, you see mom every day, you're not going to believe what she says. You see me every day, you're probably not going to believe what I say. But if you see this person that you may or may not follow on YouTube and or Instagram come in and say something to you, you're going to believe them. Sometimes they just need that outside push.
They need that shock.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what's missing right now.
Okay. When it was there, how much of a difference did it make in the kid's life?
It made a lot of difference because you could remind that child of what that person is. Like, you were watching that child experience this other person talking. So the person talking leaves, and this child starts going back into what they were feeling before that person spoke to them. So you can remind them, hey, you remember when so-and-so was here and they said this and this to you? Are you still doing that? And just kind of like remind them of what was said to them. They're just like, oh, maybe I should be.
So where can the people find you?
On social media, you can find me at work because that's where I be at. You can find me at Squalid Optimism on Instagram and Twitter. SQUALIDOPTIMISM. It means whatever you want it to mean. Don't ask questions. You can find me in your nearest bookstore. You can find me in your nearest record store, maybe at a thrift store or two. You can find me in Houston every 6 months.
You be in Houston every 4 months.
That is not true.
4 months.
That is not true.
Go to Instagram.
That is not true.
Okay. All right.
Every 6 months. Okay. Every 5 to 6 months. Because that's where I try to be at. It's my happy place. That's pretty much it. I be at home. You can find me in Virginia. Hey. That's it.
Okay. And before you go, what's one thing that you would say as a parent would be helpful for parents when it comes to kids, from what you've observed?
Make sure you set an honesty boundary with your child. Yes, that is still your child, but once a month, twice a month, give that child a moment just for you and them to where you listen. Don't speak first. Let them say whatever they want. Let them get it out and ask them if they want your opinion on it. If they say no, don't say anything. And if they say yes, then give them your opinion, but don't judge them. You let them have open conversation, so you give them open rebuttal.
What's one thing parents can work on themselves when it comes to communication with kids?
Being more honest with them. Parents being more honest with themselves first. Yes, you know what you went through when you were a child. Your child may not be going through that, or your child may be going through that times 10. Again, be honest with your child and have open conversations with your child.
Okay, this has been another episode of Mental Health in Taronda. Appreciate you. All right? Peace.